Hey everybody, this is Ghost Prepper coming at you. Wanted to do a real quick video and update you guys on one of my projects I'm working on. As you guys have probably heard before in one of my videos, I said I was going to get into raising my own meat rabbits. But what I've done, I finally finished making my first meat rabbit cage. It's a really simple cage to build. I'm going to do a video on how I built it because I didn't buy it, I built it all. I'll do a video on that here shortly when I build my next one. If you don't want to wait for that, I suggest you check out Sawyer Ridge Farms. That guy and his wife have an awesome channel, and I follow his directions step by step to build this cage. This cage is 15 feet long. It's divided into 6 separate cages with the feeders on there. I've got the hooks at the door. It holds the hay from the munch on, and plus at the very bottom you can see I used 1/2 inch by 1 inch wire actually on the bottom and around the edge on the bottom. It's called a baby saver. If there's any babies in there, it won't fit through the holes. The rest of the cage is made by 1 inch by 1 inch squares, and like I said, I bought the roll of the wire, cut it, formed it, and built it myself, so it will hold 6 rabbits. My plan for this is I'm going to start out with a couple of does and a couple of bucks. But I eventually, within the first few months, I plan on having 6 breeding does in this cage. This will just be for my does. I'm going to build another cage the same size as this one, but it will be divided up, and it'll only have 3 sections in it. It'll be basically a double wide section of 5 feet. Each section will be 5 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot, and that's where the babies will grow out once I wean them from the mom, so they have more room to run around. And then I'll have a separate cage of, it'll be probably a little bit smaller than it's half the size, and I'm going to have my my bucks in it that I'll keep away from the does. I'm going to run, what I want to run is 6 does and 3 bucks. And I believe that'll give me a really good genetic mix-up where I can keep changing stuff and mixing stuff around and get a really good breed of rabbits that are really good and fat and heavy and put out some good meat. My initial plans for this, I was going to put it up closer to the house, but they are rabbits, and I have to take advantage of all this beautifulness here where I live. Plus, rabbits don't do very well in the heat. They love the cold, but not the heat. And this foliage that I have here, it'll provide quite a bit of shade in the summertime. But what I plan on doing is I'm going to build a shelter. I was going to, sink some 4x4s and run the 2x4 framing and frame it all in nice and pretty and put a roof on it and all this and that and the other. But thanks to this COVID crap, what I'm going to do is I shifted to metal T-rails. I can just drive those T-posts into the ground on 4 corners, and then I'll run a section across each end to suspend this cage. It'll basically hang. It's not going to be supported from the bottom because I don't want there to be anything that's going to get caught up with the rat poop. I want it to be able to fall straight through to the ground so I can use that as fertilizer on my garden and my plants immediately. So it'll be suspended from the top. Nothing will be touching the ground except for the legs on the T-posts, which that'll be really easy for me to wrap some Vaseline around there and keep the ants and things like that away that might try to get up there and get into the food. But I'm going to use, instead of wood, I'm going to shift to primarily metal. And as far as the roof and the walls on the back and both sides, I'm going to use some of that corrugated tin or that fiberglass high-speed plastic stuff they make nowadays, and just use that. And it costs about, it's actually probably cheaper than wood right now, the price of wood. But the great part is it'll last a whole lot longer than wood out here in the elements. It will have a front on it. I'm debating on what type of front it's going to be. It may just be a tarp that I flip up and drop down, so it's easy to give them access to air, during the day and stuff. But at night I can close it down and give them their peace and quiet. But as for right now, that's where it sits. This is approximately 1/3, or say I'm about 30% done with the rabbit cages. I'm definitely looking forward to getting some of that high quality rabbit meat as soon as possible. Hopefully I will have this thing up and running within the next 30 or 60 days. I'm trying to space my time out in between all my projects and get them all completed at about the same time. But thank you for tuning in. This is Ghost, and I will talk to you guys later.